trying to practice for the qualifiers. So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that enemy HP is always something to watch out for. In these flags, it can be a plus or minus 2 HP. And looks like we're getting started. And speaking of nerfing, we got Wizards on the overworld. Nerf these, please.
Yeah, but Shy Foot for making a good point. I also like to see a very free red ring.
Yeah, the early combat can be really, really difficult at times. Although with Wizards in the overworld, we won't at least see them in the dungeons, which is something. Oh, and Darknut's on the overworld, so looks like we might have very easy combat in the dungeon.
Give us a moment as we're syncing the racers' timers up, and we have Kingdahl, who screen scrolled over to Vanilla level 3, finding it level 5. AlmightyBobino headed up to Vanilla 1, finding it level 3.
Level 5, not really the one you want to see early on, especially with that ladder block, but we do have a staircase, could be an item, or just take you deeper in the dungeon. Meanwhile, 3, pretty nice early on.
Ooh, that's not nice. The first item we see is the book.
Reading is important.
No, the old men don't really give us good hints, these flags, so we don't really need to.
True. Now, there is a trick that you can do with the book and the wand. I'm not sure if either of our runners will do it, but it will obsolete the need for a candle. Meanwhile, AlmightyBobino finding a staircase in 3, showing that it's segmented.
And to respond to something in chat, I don't believe the book does act as an atlas.
Correct. In these flag sets, the book will only provide wand fire, nothing else.
And we see Kingdahl finding that item and has noped out of level 5.
Meanwhile, in level 3, we get a Gleok. It's only 2 heads, thankfully, but it could still be threatening. Almighty, I'm gonna keep mispronouncing his name, and I apologize in advance. But Almighty is doing a good job with the sword beams, or was.
Yep, Gleoks are no fun. He is being a little more risque. If you do have beam swords, you can kind of just camp out in the doorway and take him out that way. But look at that, Gleok guarding our first Triforce.
A very nice fight on his side. Kingdahl taking his journey into level 3. Finds some bombs on the floor. I don't think Almighty found those. And we actually see plus 2 HP red Gurias, it looks like. So a bit of a bulky enemy set, it would seem.
I expect Gurias to be a little tough. It's the Tektites, the gels, the keys that you don't want to see beefed up.
Yeah, any of those already 0 HP or 1 HP enemies, you don't want them to get extra HP, especially the Tektites, because Tektites can get really buggy when they take knock.
You see Bobino finding the first heart container sitting on the floor.
Still a staircase item at large. We'll see if either of our runners can pick it up. I noticed that neither of them checked the shop by start. Always with so many things that you might want to buy, bait, bombs, a candle, and sometimes even arrows or what have you. It's always good to be able to know what has what item.
Yeah, that is definitely a good thing to keep in mind. These flag sets are pretty vanilla as opposed to some of the previous tournaments. Dungeons are in their vanilla locations, just shuffled around, as well as the shops. So you definitely need to be checking out those shops because it's no guarantee that that red candle is going to be anywhere accessible.
Yeah, and we have no easy candles also added to our flag set. Meanwhile, we find a map of 3. Name that ink blot.
Yeah, good luck with that one.
sort of looks. Yeah, actually, I'm not really sure what. We've got like a staircase at the bottom, and then maybe an axe tilted sideways. Meanwhile, Kingdahl, finding his two-headed Gleeok, making excellent work. That was a very good Gleeok fight. And he's got that Triforce. Still missing both items in level 3, though, so I expect he'll go back.
He does indeed. And AlmightyBobino getting the unlucky clock rock is... Oh, okay, luckily that was the last wall master hidden in the wall there.
Albino now finding the room that Kingdahl found earlier, the one that gives you the free bomb drop. Getting bombs early on is always vital. You can, since the first enemy you kill, if it's a bomb dropping enemy, can drop a bomb due to the way the item dropping script works, but whether or not it actually drops it is still random. And so if you miss that first drop, you can sometimes end up scrambling.
Yeah, those bombs very useful for grabbing a few extra heart containers on your way to the white sword item. But here is our second item in level 3, just another heart container. So very healthy level 3, but no progression items.
I'd like to point out that clip that Kingdahl did to get through that reverse C. That was beautifully done. Due to the way block clipping works, he actually had to do a double clip, clipping sideways and then vertically in order to get to the staircase faster.
Yeah, must have been practicing those moves. Let's see,
Almighty,
some more.
now finding that staircase, gonna be getting that heart container, and gonna be short short on Kingdahl's heels.
Kingdahl getting some nice bomb drops. Checking out the shop. Arrows, candle, and bombs. Very nice.
That shop is loaded. I expect he'll take a few moments, write it all down, and then be on to check the Armos item.
And I always forget my vanilla locations. I think that's a vanilla arrow shop.
I'm not too familiar with what shop has what in vanilla myself, but thinking about it, I do believe that is correct. And we see what's underneath the Armos statue. That old man telling us that the Armos item is actually going to be in the Lost Woods today. Meanwhile, Bobino actually going a different route. He went to the east of level 1, heading to where vanilla level 2 is, picking up that heart container from the Take Any, and he's going to be checking Armos on this end, which this time it will actually pay off if he goes to the Lost Woods, or sorry, Lost Hills. And speaking of level 2, that's what we find at vanilla level 6. So it's always a good dungeon to find. So we do see Lionels in the dungeons, so not completely free, but we do have something to deal with. But Lionels will only be in one of the 3 different enemy sets, so we won't have to worry much about that. And meanwhile, Bobino isn't really going to be worrying about level 1, hopefully, because that looks to be what's at vanilla level 2. 3 items, the smallest dungeon, the best place you want. We get a map of level 2 on Kingdahl's side. Looks a bit like a catapult if you squint enough. Really, you could make that claim that anything looks like anything if you squint hard enough, but suppose you could call it that way. Meanwhile, we actually see camo moblins and more Lionels in level 1. Bobino's got to be careful. I'd just drop a bomb on that pile of enemies, take them all out. You only have 3 to deal with, but It would take those enemies out really quickly. Kingdahl, I believe he found a heart container on the dungeon floor, but passed it up. Or, no, he does have 6 hearts. He picked.
Yep, definitely picked up that heart container. Looks like AlmightyBobino also found another heart container here in level 1.
Actually, he picked up the heart container from Monocle Rock.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we're taking our first death here in level 1.
You gotta be careful. Those Lionels can do 2 hearts, both varieties, although the red ones are usually a bit slower. We do see a Triforce, not guarded by the Manhandler, thankfully. But we want to see what's in these 5 rooms to the east. Sorry.
Getting that key, that's a nice find. Always nice to have plenty of keys early.
Meanwhile, Bobino having a rematch with this room. Hopefully this time he'll have a bit better luck. Got 7 bombs now, so I definitely recommend just dropping a bomb on some of these lines. And speaking of bombs, Kingdahl has taken my advice, dropping a bomb, but these are some beefy blue Lionels. They took a bomb and then some. Just get a key. No second item yet. It should be now in level 2 there are no staircase items, so it should just be lying on the floor. In theory, it'll be to this room on the right.
Yeah, first he's gonna have to clear out these Lionels and Moblins.
Gotta be careful though, running low on bombs and health.
Well, I thought he had stored up a count there. Oh, but takes our second death.
Well, I'm sure he'll make a bit of a beeline there and take a second attempt. Meanwhile, Bobino finding the ladder in level 1, it looks like.
That's a great early find. Free item on the coast, no ladder blocks in any of the rest of our dungeons. So that's something Kingdahl will want to find sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that ladder, in addition to just getting you some free items, it just makes a lot of rooms and sometimes some of the combat in those rooms significantly easier. Like, look at an NSE room. Without the ladder, you're just stuck on a straight path. If there's bubbles in it, then good luck, but without, then you've got something to work with if you have the ladder. No other items so far, it looks like, based on his heart count and his inventory check. Taking another death. Again, gotta be careful with these Lionels. If he's having trouble, it might be worth it to come back later with Dark Nuts and Wizrobes on the overworld. We know that the other 2 enemy sets will be significantly easier. The worst he'll have to deal with is Pulse Voices and Vires. So if you can find a dungeon with a bit easier enemies, it might do might be better for him. But he's determined to clear out level 1.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Keeping in mind which enemies are shuffled and how many levels of each set there can be.
Kingdahl taking his trip into the forest, although I expect he'll go to the Lost Hills right away, as he knows should know that's where the Armos item is.
Yep, the Armos item is a chance of being shuffled, and as soon as you check out the vanilla location based on what cave is under there, if it is shuffled, you know the location of where it is.
And we actually find I believe our second floor item on Bobino's side, a power bracelet. So, not required, but very convenient for fast travel, especially early on. Lets you get to Vanilla 6 and Vanilla 5 really easy.
Yeah, especially if you're double dipping dungeons, coming back to them later, the power bracelet can help you out. Not quite as nice as the recorder, but it'll do. those blue Lionels guarding the Triforce here in level 1. Kingdahl picks up a medium secret at 33.
Bobino picking up that Triforce. He was debating whether he wants to dig the third item or not, but looks like he decided pick up the Triforce first, and then if he wants to dig, double dip later. But looks like he's just going to gamble that the third item is not important. We'll see how that pays off.
Yep, playing the odds. There's many more items elsewhere than there are in level 1.
I do question the wisdom of this, because level 1 is just so small, and I think it's the staircase item is missing. However, based on the amount of deaths he's had, he might want to find a dungeon that isn't filled to the brim with Lionel. We are going to, sorry?
Yeah, so I was going to say, speaking of filling to the brim, Kingdahl picking up that large secret, almost full, filling his wallet. Ooh, white sword on the coast.
Yeah, that's already paying off dividends. If he wants to go back to 1 mil, now he's got a double damage. He also picked up a blue candle in that shop, so he's going to be able to enter vanilla 8 when he feels like. And we see the Armos item is just a heart container. Kingdahl headed for vanilla 5 now, it would seem. Trying to kill enemies, perhaps to set up for a 10 count on your bombs. If you kill 10 enemies without taking damage and then kill the 10th one with a bomb, it'll be guaranteed to drop a bomb drop, assuming it can drop items regardless. That's easier said than done.
We've got a high 5 here. Both runners checking out this white sword heart container. Yuck. But that'll be Kingdahl's 10th, so he is the minimum requirement to pick up that magical sword.
Yeah, Kingdahl having a very healthy start to the seed. A bit more defensive so far, as compared to the white sword that Bobino has. As both the runners will be making up to vanilla 5. Now, so far we've only really seen pretty easy dungeons, all things considered. We've seen 1, 2, 3, and 5, so... Yep, here we have 6.
One of the largest dungeons here with the Shapes flag set on.
Yeah, you maybe want to think twice about digging it. Now, in Kingdahl's position, I definitely would dig it, just to see what the enemies are, take a bit longer. With Bobino, I might be more willing to just leave it, just because I do have that power bracelet, so I can leave a bit, or rather come back a bit faster. But we actually see
I definitely agree with that point.
We actually see a staircase right away, and more Lionels!
Yeah, Lionels replacing Wizrobes, not too much difference other than the Lionels can't phase in and out of existence.
Yeah, we've seen lots of Lionels in these dungeons so far, and actually see some... What are these called? Dodongos? I swear I played this game. So Dodongo's really good for farming bombs.
Trick is not getting Digdogger and Dodongos confused.
Lots of enemies that start with the same letter in this game. We see those Dodongos regarding the map, which Bobino has already actually picked up, trying to block clip and get this heart container. So, name that ink block. Actually, no, sorry. I mean, do name the ink block, but it would seem that I got my staircases mixed up. There was another diamond staircase that you enter from the left, filled with red Lionels.
I'm going to say this ink blot looks like a castle.
I was thinking kind of like a Roman pillar. Sort of, if you squint.
I studied ancient Greece, not ancient Rome in college.
Either way, we got Kingdahl taking that same staircase Bobino took. And we're just going to be slowly but surely clearing out this dungeon. Level 6, as we can see, absolutely massive. Lots of rooms. Normally the largest dungeon outside of 9 in vanilla is level 7 with 33 rooms, but this one seems just as large.
Hello, Lag City.
Actually, just counted and looks like this dungeon is 34 rooms large, so pretty significant.
Yep, it actually in shapes tends to outsize the level 7.
Yeah, so levels 1 through 6 do share their own rectangular grid, levels 7 and 8 share a square, and level 9 is kind of off by itself. The chat is saying Triforce pickup from Bobino being told, so
Yep.
I guess we'll mark that off. Oh, actually, there it is. He just picked it up.
Yeah, you went down exploring a few more rooms. Found that Triforce, but had an extra room or two down there to check out first.
Yeah, it's always a tough call when you see the Triforce, but you want to keep exploring. It really just depends on what you had to kill to get the Triforce if you want to take it and come back.
And or maybe how many hearts you have.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, these dongos are trolling Kingdahl. There we go.
Kingdahl showing the optimal way to fight Dodongos. You put the bombs on the half a tile below or above the Dodongo and they won't be able to eat it, which is really convenient. We're actually see a not a bomb hole, but a bomb block through that old man room, so if we want to get to the northwest side of the dungeon, we're going to have to go all the way around.
Yeah, that center hole is not playing nice.
Bobino finding his 8th heart container. Gonna be grabbing that. And honestly, in his case, I might be tempted to just leave. We got Lionel's in this dungeon, we are only missing a floor item, and we have the Triforce. Coupled with just how big level 6 is, definitely wouldn't necessarily be a bad play to come back later. Or not at all.
Yeah, his advantage of that white sword might be tempting him to stick around and search for the spore drop.
Oh, but Kingdahl...
Ooh, ladder block.
Getting blocked hard by those ladders, and now if you did have even if he had a ranged weapon, he still wouldn't be able to kill the Lionels on the sides. That's the problem with some of these ladder blocked. Bino topping up his bombs. He's looks like he's gonna try and bomb to the left hand side, but also gonna be blocked. Actually, no, he's killing the Dodongos first and trying to go. On the bright side, with these Dodongos pretty much forced at the start of this dungeon, our players shouldn't be running out of bombs. Bobino taking another death to these red Lionels. You might have a lot of health, but when you up A or restart from the dungeon, you only have 3 hearts, so doesn't matter what your maximum is.
And unless you grabbed that letter or taken a potion from one of the Takeny caves, you're stuck at 3.
Yeah, healing in this game is surprisingly difficult.
Although, you know, he could be keeping track of his counter, and just as you can farm bombs off those Dodongos, you can also farm fairies.
Yeah, if you kill 16 enemies without taking damage, a fairy will drop. Bobino taking yet another death. I really can't recommend enough to just leave this dungeon. Sometimes you might be tempted just to full clear the dungeon, just go in, dig it all, go out, but it's really not so much being methodical that's best, more so as maximizing the amount of items per the amount of time you spend. So, especially with this just being such a large dungeon and having most of the goodies here, I think a better play would just be to head over to Vanilla 9 and see what's there. You're pretty close. You gotta go there anyway at some point.
I've been at 25 minutes in. Both our runners now tied up with Triforce counts. Kingdahl a little healthier, but Bobino has that white sword upgrade to his advantage.
And I think more importantly, the ladder.
Oh yeah.
Kingdahl does have a large number of rupees. He's getting close to being able to buy a blue ring if he so desires.
Has to find that blue ring shop first, though.
Meanwhile, it looks like he's actually going to be buying a candle and checking out these dungeons. I don't believe we've seen what was at Vanilla 8 yet. We'll also be checking what's on the coast. So he'll be making his way to a few new dungeons.
Yeah, he will take away that advantage. Or no, he doesn't have the ladder, so he can't grab that white sword, but he knows where it is. But given his heart count, he's closer to that magical sword.
True. Right now he has a 40% chance at the magic sword. Kingdahl buying a blue candle and the wooden arrows, conveniently.
Yep, he is preparing for any Goma blocks. He's found that ladder block here that AlmightyBobino's getting through.
Just gotta hope you find the other half of the equation, the bow.
Oh, here's level 9. Candle block.
Well, with level 9 found, we know that really there's no risk in checking any of these other dungeons. Sometimes you might be hesitant especially to go to Vanilla 9, just in case it is Vanilla and it's 9. So you might be tempted to save it for later, just in case you don't go out of your way for a dungeon you'll just have to leave immediately, but that's not the case.
Yeah, and that actually, there's a lot of chatter in the Discord about, when do you go up to vanilla level 9? Because exactly like you said, it might be vanilla. It might be just an awful dungeon, shape 6 with, tons of bad enemies in it. It seems like in this seed, it might actually have been the play, because up until now, all of our dungeons have been pretty tough to get through.
Yeah, definitely. And, sorry, lost my train of thought there. Well, meanwhile, Kingdahl's in level 1. He'll be finding that ladder and power bracelet soon. And maybe we'll also see what's in the staircase, see that third item. We'll see if Bobino's play of skipping out on it was actually worth it. Actually makes me really curious. Unless we just missed the third item in 1. Why Bobino has been so hesitant on digging 6, whereas he bailed on 1 pretty quickly.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that he did not find that staircase item.
Well, we do see Bobino finally making his way into the this top left corner of 6, so he should be near the floor item. We'll see if it's gonna be something Kingdahl will have to backtrack.
Great job dodging these Lionel beams.
Oh, and these are plus HP red Lionels too. All the Lionels are bulky.
Yeah, I think they're all the way up to 6.
Fortunately, a plethora of fairies gave him actually, despite taking hits, left at full HP.
This should be the staircase here on AlmightyBobino's side.
We've actually already seen the staircase item, and because this room has a shutter door in it, it actually cannot be a staircase.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
One more room left up here, and easy room with moblins. So let's give Bobino a break, shall we? Sometimes the game does have mercy.
There's the power bracelet there for Kingdahl.
Oh, but the game is just telling him, hey, the Triforce is over here. Unfortunately, he picked that up a good while ago. Kingdahl, digging his way through one. I don't think he's found any of the items yet. He has found a Gleeok, though, which he's saying goodbye to. Interesting that he isn't taking on that Gleeok, in my opinion. It's only 2 heads, he's got plenty of health, and it can drop an item in that room.
I am still memorizing which rooms are potential drops and which rooms cannot definitely be drops.
Oh, apparently the chat's pointing out, apparently Kingdahl already found the bracelet and the ladder, so that would be why, that'd be a good reason to not take out an unnecessary Gleeok.
And I definitely saw him pick up the power bracelet. And here is the bow!
No. The bow is in level 1, just south of the Triforce room, I think. That is, really unfortunate for Bobino that he skipped out on it.
Yeah, we know he'll have to come back eventually if he wants to kill the pig.
Kingdahl picking up that level 1 Triforce, putting him at a 4-3 lead.
Yep, taking an early lead here. But still anyone's game. Level 9 takes no prisoners. It doesn't matter if you're in there 10, even 15 minutes ahead of your opponent. If you take a left when you're supposed to go right to get to Albuquerque, game over.
Also looks like chat's pointing out Bobino spent a significant amount of time only to dig out the red candle from level 6. That's really unfortunate. That's part of the gambles you have to make when just digging some of these dungeons. It's not necessarily, okay, I can clear this dungeon, but it's more so, okay, I'm missing the floor item, but there are 20 rooms left unexplored. Is the risk of potentially missing an important item worth the time commitment of clearing potentially 20 rooms?
Right. Only benefit I can see of that red candle is that I don't think we've seen any pancakes yet.
We have not. Red candle is a convenient weapon, especially for land molas.
Oh yeah, land molas too for sure.
Well, with the ladder in tow, Kingdahl heading into 5, picking up that map, name that ink block. Oh, finding the compass immediately after.
That kind of looks like someone took a bite out of Lord Banana.
I was thinking maybe a high heel if you squint enough. Either way, we got 2 more items in level 5. 1 more Triforce piece. It was a mostly unexplored dungeon, so we'll see what crops.
And we already found the book in the staircase, so looking for that floor drop.
That is correct, yes. That first staircase was immediately the book. And with both our runners having candles, there's no need for fancy tricks here. Bobino decided, let's actually go back into 2, and by back into 2 I mean go into 2 for the first time. Made a quick way up there with his power bracelet.
Ooh, this old man trolling Kingdahl. Looking for a way to get down to that Triforce. Well, that's what it was. He didn't want to spend this key.
Sometimes it can be really difficult to just navigate these bomb blocks.
Oh, speaking of bomb blocks, there's our bomb upgrade.
Bit shy on the cost, however, he isn't completely out of bombs yet, so hopefully it won't matter too much.
Now, with those blue Tektites being in the money dropping category, it would have been real hype if all those Tektites dropped a 5 rupee.
I think that would, I think if that were to happen, I'd be, questioning the drop odds.
Putting those wooden arrows to use.
Yeah, that's a good reason to not use, buy that bomb upgrade, even if he could afford it. Then he would have hardly any money for the wooden arrows. Which, in this game, ranged weapons are critical. Now, we do find that transport staircase in level 5. It's gonna clear the enemies first, because we are missing a floor item, and it could be in this.
Always clear your open stairs. Taking them all the way down to the bottom.
As Bobino heads all the way to the top of level 2, finding that useless compass. He's gonna be checking the room to the right. I don't believe there were anything important in here. Actually, no, we didn't see what dropped in this room because Kingdahl unfortunately took a Lionel beam to the face. He's at half heart, he's gotta be careful. Oh, but nothing dropped in this room. That's unlucky.
Oh, hi, Minehandler. Oh, not optimal drop bomb placements. There we go. And gets the any key for a reward. Any key in level 5.
That's an excellent reward. It is an optional item, however, with only 2 keys and quite a lot of dungeons left to explore, you definitely want an infinite amount of keys.
And AlmightyBobino tying it back up in Triforce count, picking up the Triforce number 2. It looks like he's back in, though, for that second floor drop item. And Kingdahl taking the lead back right away.
Although, with the silver arrows still at large, it's anyone's game. This has been a very close match. And silver arrows and level 9 are commonly known as the Great Equalizer for a reason.
Well, not only the silver arrows, but we still need to find the raft and the recorder.
That too is true, and we are slowly but surely running out of locations to check.
I'm calling it. I'm going to say those items are up in Vanilla 9 in level 8. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's probably the most critical location still left to check. We haven't seen levels 4, 7, or 8 left. 4 and 8, a bit more valuable than 7 at this point, due to 4's small size and 8's high quantity of items. I'm not entirely sure why Bobino is killing the enemies in this room. Level 2, as we know, does not have any items in staircases. Has no staircases at all.
He must have maybe missed one of the pickups here. I'm pretty sure now he's cleared out all the rooms.
Actually, I'm looking at my tracker. I don't have any of the items marked down. Must have missed them. Maybe they were heart containers.
Yeah, I definitely saw one heart container here in level 2.
Speaking of level 2, Kingdahl's actually headed back into level 2. Looks like he missed the second item here. So we'll see what we find here. And we actually should mention we saw an attempt at the magic sword pickup, but 11 hearts was not enough. magic sword, vanilla is 12 hearts, but in Randomizer it's anywhere between 10 and 14. Bobino picking up looks like a second heart container in level 2. So level 2 is not where we need to go.
Yep, so both level 2 and level 3, nothing but healthy dungeons. Cleared out level 5 and level 1 and level 6. So, yeah, level 8 has to be the play.
Well, not level 8, but whatever's at vanilla level 9.
Oh, that's right, yep.
Now you mentioned there's a lot of talk about when to go there. And actually, I'll hold off a bit. Is 12 hearts enough? No, we've got
Survey says.
a very healthy magic sword. So as I was saying, there's a lot of opinions on when to head up to Vanilla 9. Personally, I'm fond of heading there after you pick up the white sword item. Just walk left a few screens and there it is, because the last thing you want to do is go there too early and not be able to full clear, and then you'll have to go out of your way again. But you also don't want to leave it too long in case it's extremely important, so I feel after the white sword is a nice balance.
It looks like Kingdahl is headed that way now. He picked up one final heart from his take-in, and now headed up to Vanilla 9.
Meanwhile, Bobino, he's heading back towards 5. So he saw the book earlier, but we'll see if he is able to dig out this magic key. Okay, I was wondering what he was doing, but he's saving himself a bomb. Actually, no. He didn't. Bobino did not see the book. This is Bobino's first time entering level 5.
And with seeing that book, he might be glad that he has put level 5 off for so long, until he sees that any key.
Well, we see level 7 at vanilla level 9. The least useful of all the dungeons we could have seen, but we have an immediate staircase and an immediate
And there it is. So we still have the boomerangs, the red ring, the wand, and the silver arrows, and the raft at large. So we have the raft or silvers somewhere on the floor here. That's good news. Otherwise, we have to, go do a chain reaction. Use that recorder.
Oh, but we find a pile of blue land molas, but very nice job taking them out with wooden arrows.
Yeah, and plenty of money to spare. And speaking of bananas, there is Lord Banana.
This level 7's been pretty free so far. Gotta take out this Patcher, though, before he can do anything else. But he does
Very
an
nice fight,
exceptional
though.
job.
And burning the banana. Nice and crispy. Nothing like a nice baked banana for breakfast.
We see a Gleeok, he's not guarding anything. Bit of a debate, do you take the staircase or not? Personally, I don't think it really matters either way, but not taking it is slightly faster, as all we do need is the Triforce right now. Bobino finding that map, so he knows exactly where he needs to go. It's just a matter of actually getting there. And speaking of getting there, Kingdahl is getting places with that 6th Triforce piece. So at this point, only one place to go. That would be Vanilla 7. We'll flute to 5, take a bit of a walk, and then we'll see what our last 2 dungeons are.
No, he's going to make a play for the magical sword first.
Okay then. Never mind. At this point, knowing what we know, it's a 50% chance to pick up the magic sword right now. So it'll be interesting to see if it actually is max heart or not.
Da 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 da.
13 hearts is our lucky number today, it would seem. So the magic sword doubling his damage yet again. Be able to do 4 hearts per hit, which is a significant amount of damage, especially in an HP shuffle with bulkier enemies. It really helps to have that extra damage.
You don't usually see folks taking the Lost Woods backwards to get over here. So, very exciting routes from these runners.
Yeah, it's a bit faster from the magic sword.
Right, level 4. Must hold our raft.
You also see a dig dogger here. Three-headed. Sorry, three. It's got 3 dig dogger kids, and you get a compass right away. Bobino getting really close to that magic key. He's got to be careful though. It is guarded by a manhandler, and he's out of bombs and low on health. He might have to come back with more resources. Speaking of bombs, Kingdahl's got plenty of bombs, but there's a shortage of bomb holes.
Oh, speaking of bomb holes, Bobino doesn't have the bomb to get into the manhandler room. Unless there's a key door up here. No, he is bomb locked from that any key.
That's unfortunate, but I don't think without bombs he would have really been able to take out the manhandler easily with that low health. We do see a map pickup from Kingdahl. Name that ink blot.
A horse. Sorry, not a horse. A seahorse.
My first thought was like one of those, from science fiction, like a ray gun. Got the handle and then something that just shoots waves of energy. If you squint hard enough.
We are working with 8 bits of resolution, so definitely not a stranger to squinting.
Well, squint and you'll miss it, but Bobino's picking up the Triforce from level 5. Not able to pick up that magic key, but hopefully he'll head up to Vanilla 9 next and find level 7.
Yeah, I think he's just about out of plays, other than maybe grabbing the magical sword, or trying to at least. There's also this large secret here in the Deadwoods.
Yeah, I am curious to see if he'll pick up the blue ring, as a red ring. We could actually have vanilla items in 9, red ring and silvers, both at large. And speaking of level 9, are we sure level 4 isn't level 9 in disguise? Both Ganon and Zelda's room in here. Bobino actually taking another dig into level 5. Personally, I question the wisdom of this play. Just from a mathematical standpoint, we got one dungeon that's at large with all its items missing versus just a floor item in here, which could take a long time to dig.
Another point to make is he hasn't gone back into level 1 for that bow.
Oh, that's true. He bailed on level 1, and level 1, it's not a dungeon you want to leave an item in, unless you absolutely have to. Bobino did, however, make a good play of buying that bomb upgrade.
As we knew, the raft had to be here in level 4. So Kingdahl in silver mode.
I expect, unless we saw him pick up or see the floor item in here, he'll go back in. I think he's checked the entire top part of the dungeon, and he has a bit of the lower section left. And no,
And
he's actually just leaving. I guess he's no, never mind. Calling it a bit too early, it would seem.
maybe just working up some of his count. And here, AlmightyBobino back in the room. 10 bombs. And this will be his.
Manhandle one of the most random enemies, but Bobino actually taking out the last head with a sword, getting that magic key, and finding out the hard truth that he's running out of places to look for progression.
Yeah, I could see him going back into 1, grabbing that bow, and then heading up to Vanilla 9.
Honestly, in this case, you've bailed on 1 for so long, you kind of just have to stick with it. It's a bit of a fallacy, but just from the standpoint of, again, there's only 1 item in 1 versus 2 or potentially 3. He doesn't know if 8 is on Death Mountain or not. Just a matter of where are all the items.
We'll be picking up this one of his final take-inies here. I can't imagine either of these runners will go all the way back to the East Coast for that final one after getting the raft.
Looks like Kingdahl's in just about the last room that the floor item could be in. This is yet another Lionel-infested dungeon. Looks like we've seen 4 dungeons filled with Lionels, which is the max.
And I don't think we've seen any pancakes yet, so I think pancakes and Pulse Voice in levels 8 and 9.
Seems to be.
Oh, and there's the wand on the floor here in level 4.
Well, we'll see what magic happens in level 8. Again, level 9 and less of level 8. Although level 8 can still be absolutely massive with this flag set. So the Great Equalizer, let's see if it has anything to say about Kingdahl and his league.
AlmightyBobino finding the bad news that what was that 12 hearts is not enough for that magical sword.
Ooh, Kingdahl almost eating magic for breakfast. What was that, 6 blue wizards guarding the entrance to level 8?
I did not count those. I see those and I run.
So here's the question now. We've full cleared every single dungeon on Kingdahl's side, and we're still missing the silvers. When do you gamble that they're in 9?
When I found both the staircases and the Triforce. But if there's a staircase, they're pretty easy to locate. We don't have those second quest staircase push blocks in, so only a handful of options.
Kingdahl getting troll dongoed. Oh, but with his last bomb, he gets some more bombs, and okay, now he's back up to full.
Yeah, the theme of this seed is the troll dongos. They've been everywhere.
Bobino finally making his way up to Death Mountain, going to dig that flute out of level 7 in mere moments. Is in the second room of the dungeon. Personally, for me, I think when digging silver arrows, it really just depends on a number of factors. Do I have the map of level 8? What's the enemy set in level 8? How many rooms are left unexplored in level 8? Because, I mean, if I'm missing only 1 item in level 8, but I'm only missing like 3 rooms, then I might as well just dig those 3 rooms. But if I've, say, 20 rooms unexplored, then it's a different story.
And also, depending on whether you have the map or not, might come into play.
We have seen an Armos check answering a question from the chat. The Armos was a heart container.
Surprise, surprise.
As was the white sword item, another heart container. Lots of empty rooms in 8 so far. It's looking like a bit of a blob shape so far. Now, level 8 does go outside the shape of level 7 for the most part, but I don't think we've seen a map of either dungeon, so it's hard to say just how the dungeons are split up. Now, we do have a Triforce from Kingdahl's side. Is he going to risk silver arrows in 9? If he does, and they aren't, then that's all the time for Bobino to catch up.
Yeah, no, he's playing the odds. There's a 3/5 chance that there's going to be something good in here, as opposed to just the 2 possibilities in level 9.
Yeah, it's just a matter of where in the dungeon do I have to go, and sometimes that can be really difficult without the map.
Speaking of really difficult, there's the Patro with just the white sword and AlmightyBobino taking another death. But he did locate that floor drop, so he's now just looking for that Triforce.
Unfortunately for Bobino, again, missing that bow, it's going to cost him ever so more if he has to just full clear some of these dungeons, because even if, say, he finds the silvers early on in 8, if he doesn't go back to 1, then he's starting to get in big trouble.
Yeah, Kingdahl, very happy to see that bait block not blocking anything. But AlmightyBobino and Kingdahl must be looking at their clock. It's getting to the hour mark, so if their opponent is doing well, they might be pretty close. Of course, they don't know that.
Yeah, whenever a seed is not sub-hour'd, I start sweating personally. So, I imagine these runners will even more so start getting nervous.
And all hail the mighty Trolldongos yet again.
They're everywhere in this level 8,
And
and
fighting them in this
nowhere are the
Triforce room.
items.
I think this is my least favorite room to fight Dodongos in.
On the plus side, with how many magic bomb holes have been in this dungeon, at least Kingdahl isn't going to be running out of bombs.
AlmightyBobino picking up the Triforce at a level 7. Still has a bit of ground to catch up. But again, anything can happen. Still have no idea what level 9's looking like. And we need those silvers.
While we're on the topic of fighting Dodongos, I think personally fighting them in the maze room is the worst. The maze room that can have a drop in level 4.
Ooh, red ring here in level 8.
That's an item you don't want to pass up ever. Quadrupling his defense, and with that absurd amount of hearts, that effectively gives him 52 heart containers, if my math is correct. That's a lot of heart containers.
It's always better to find the red ring early as opposed to late. But given that the recorder was blocking our raft, which was up on Death Mountain, might be thinking it's not too bad. And he finds the floor drop. So one more staircase here in level 8. But at this point, the odds are that the silver arrows are going to be in level 9.
That floor drop being yet another heart container.
Technically another 4 heart containers. And more dongos.
Interesting that Bobino's taking the slower route. I'm not entirely sure. Oh wait, he's going to level 4. It would have been faster, definitely, to have fluted to level 5. Maybe he wanted to take another crack at Magic Sword, except he hasn't picked up any heart containers since his last attempt, so... Bit of a curious route there.
Also often take the long way through the Lost Woods as opposed to just entering it from the left and then re-exiting it that way to spit you out on the other side. all those little time saves can really make a difference, especially if the racer that you're playing is of pretty high caliber. If you're racing against me, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, a lot of games aren't won and lost based on big deaths and such. They're just based on seconds, sometimes a few minutes. Sometimes something as simple as going left instead of right, killing one too many enemies on the overworld. All those time losses add up.
Finding the map.
Name that ink blot. That looks like level 6, vanilla level 6, except with a bit more muscle. No wonder he's had so much trouble finding the last few items.
Find our first mugger room.
Kingdahl almost being forced to take that -1 bomb when he can definitely afford to spare some money with his maximum 255 rupees.
Yeah, he's already got those wood arrows and the red ring, so nothing else he needs to spend other than those arrows. Shooting.
Yeah, no matter how many Bull's Voice you fight, I don't think you're gonna run out of burn through over 250 arrows.
Never say never.
Well, he is running out of rooms, so almost a full clear 8. As Bobino, he's digging for, he's got the compass, he's got the map, and I believe the raft was directly left of that Triforce room.
Yep, I think that's right. The wand was a little south. But might not know that nothing can drop there in Zelda's room.
We do see a staircase potentially in 8. Is it going to have our last item? And is it going to be the silver arrows? It is a staircase. It is not the silver arrows.
Magical boomerang here in level 8. So level 9 holds our silver arrows. And what else? Must be another heart container.
By my count, yes, it is another heart container.
So Kingdahl is looking for some bombs. Might opt to maybe purchase one of those bomb upgrades that he skipped out on earlier. Can't remember which dungeon that was in. But no, he's gonna take out these red robes instead.
We did see a bomb upgrade shortly into level 5. I don't think we've seen the other bomb upgrade.
Just 2 extra bombs for, 122. Might not seem worth it, but sitting at 255 rupees and 0 bombs, absolutely worth it. But Kingdahl might be feeling a little bit behind.
Oh, he's got to be feeling behind this late into the seed. Fortunately for him, got a bomb drop from an enemy, was able to remember that the B shop had bombs for a cheap 19 rupees, so he doesn't need that capacity upgrade. Because again, oftentimes with bomb upgrades, it's not necessarily the extra capacity that matters, more so as just the refill.
Absolutely.
Bobino finding that Triforce, going to explore a little bit more. This is the room that has the raft, although the question is, will he dig for the wand, which is a bit to the south.
But at an hour and 4 minutes in, Kingdahl is in level 9. So we're unfortunately not going to be able to hear the roar of Ganon, but we are going to be looking for that shutter door that does not open once those enemies have been cleared out. And like we expected, Pulse Voice and Pancakes right away.
And also, so far, no real good options for this dungeon. Completely blocked on the right, can't go to the north. Let's
Yeah,
see what's to the left.
that is what AlmightyBobino will be hoping for. Doesn't know it, but he needs Kingdahl to spend a whole heck of a lot of time in here. Because he still needs to go back to level 1 to get that raft, and needs to get the Triforce out of level 8.
Bobino actually doing something different from what Kingdahl did. Kingdahl took the Triforce and then re-entered from the start. Bobino, he wants to dig for the second item before getting the Triforce. It'll save him a little bit of time as he picks up that wand, which should help a lot with his offense.
Guess another thing to remind folks of is that we're looking for the silvers in 9. So Kingdahl is going to be hoping to enter a staircase and see those silvers. Not looking for transports, not looking for that final heart container.
And especially not looking for Ganon, at least right now. Now, it is possible for you to have to enter Ganon's room and then
there's
bomb
Zelda.
through.
Oh, no, it's not. The shutter door just didn't open right away.
Yeah, Zelda's room can never be off of a room with multiple shutter doors. It has to be a single shutter door. We do get that Triforce from Bobino. I don't think he picked up that wand, though. He did not.
Nope. Going back in, he's going to find the wrong bluish colored item.
Meanwhile, hopping from staircase to staircase, not finding anything yet. He is jumping all over the dungeon, though. And now this could be where Bobino gets to shine. He does have 12 bombs and 12 capacity, so with how many bomb holes we've seen so far, Kingdahl might get blocked.
Also has that red candle to help him a little bit with these pancakes. Although I guess with the white sword and the wand, if he grabs the wand, it won't be that great of an advantage.
Yeah, the red candle's good early on, but by the time you get significantly more damaging weapons, it really starts to taper off. Now we do see Gibdos, our first real set of Gibdos, in level 9 each. Now each enemy set is guaranteed to have a bomb-dropping enemy in it, at least one. In this case it is the Gibdos, but sometimes those bomb droppers are only fires, which you have to be able to kill them in one hit, which is easier said than done. It's not the case today, however. Looks like we're gonna get a full clear from Bobino, as looks like he's explored every room except the ones leading to the wand. Kingdahl getting trolled by yet another fake staircase. And with that low amount of health, it might be worth it to just up A and just start from the beginning, take a different path. Especially when facing this.
Unfortunately, no magic potions. Never picked up that letter, despite going all the way up to Casino Corner.
Yeah, that's it's part of the just strats and gambles you have to consider. Do you take a heart container or a potion at the Take Any caves? Personally, my rule of thumb is 1 to 2 heart containers and always take a potion. But Kingdahl opted to take pretty much entirely heart containers, so it could pay off, or it could end poorly.
Yeah, no, he really wanted to grab that magical sword, and you know, it definitely helps against things like Gleeok.
So it should be pointed out that room that Kingdahl died in was actually a potential staircase room. If that had the silver arrows, all I can say is yikes. Because I'd have to guess that he probably won't make his way up to that one particular potential staircase room for quite a while. Chat's asking, what is Bobino looking for still? And to answer that, I have no idea. He's gotten both items and the Triforce from level 4. He's got infinite amounts of keys. He's got plenty of bombs. I can't think of anything he could be looking for in 4. He's even got the map and the compass. All I can think of is he mismarked his tracker.
Yeah, we definitely know he's still looking for the bow and silvers. I hope he's not thinking that there's a possibility of 2 floor drop items. You know, kind of getting confused with the second quest mark of the tracker.
That is entirely plausible.
He certainly wouldn't be the first.
Since how it works is, first quest, you have 2 items plus a heart container in levels 1 and 8, and then just 2 items in 9. In second quest, those become levels 1 and 4, if I recall correctly.
4 and 8. Level 1 is reduced to just 1 item in the heart container, as Kingdahl, finding the silver arrows, officially in go mode.
Well, fortunately, they weren't buried back where we thought they might be, in that Blue Land Molar.
Yep. Also lucky he didn't find the final heart container here. Now, unsure if he's heard Ganon or not. So we have no audio.
Yeah, if he has heard Ganon, he should know exactly where to look. So that'll give him a distinct advantage. Although we definitely haven't seen Zelda yet, so...
Oh, but he did find the pig.
Right beside Start, it would seem.
Yep, so the way Ganon's roar works is if you're in a room north, south, east, or west of his location, you'll be able to hear his squealing through the walls. And just like that, with the magical sword, not a problem. Triforce of Wisdom in Kingdahl's possession. Now just looking for the princess.
Yeah, that magic sword makes him only take 4 hits. And so now he's going to be looking for a staircase that does open, regardless of how many enemies are in the room. Or, sorry, a shutter door. Did I say staircase?
Yeah, I think you did.
That would bring new meaning to a magic staircase for Zelda.
Ooh, don't give Fred any ideas. Of course, there is an entire channel in the Discord dedicated if you do want to give him ideas.
Bobino made his way into level 8. Unfortunately, he did take a death to those blue Wizrobes guarding the entrance of level 8, so he had to go back there, but he made his way back in there on a second.
Luckily, not too far away from Vanilla Start.
So, as much as I'd like to be optimistic, it is still possible for Bobino to take this, in theory. He would just, he'd have to make the gamble that silvers are in 9. Which, actually, remembering that he's still missing the bow from level 1, do you think maybe he just thought that we were using second quest flag sets, looking for a 3rd item in 4 and not getting the 3rd item in 1?
Yeah, that would kind of make sense. We'll have to see if he pops in here for a post-race interview.
Well, we're seeing lots of shutter doors, and none of them have Zelda behind them. But slowly, bit by bit, Kingdahl is exploring all of 9. At this point, it's really only a matter of time.
Yeah, locating those bomb holes would be awesome if you found a map or a compass.
Map, less so, although it does help to know what rooms can't be bombed into, knowing what rooms don't exist at all, but a compass especially. In level 9, the compass points directly to where Zelda is.
Yep, definitely makes learning those rooms, drop rooms, much more valuable.
Although sometimes it's a bit of a just a personal choice, I guess, whether you decide I want to clear rooms, look for the compass, or just go through rooms as fast as possible looking for Zelda herself, looking for the shutter.
In my experience, it kind of depends if you have the any key and plenty of bombs.
Good combat, the enemy set.
Yeah, I haven't seen which enemies drop bombs in this level 9. It's not the pose.
It's Gibdos.
Gibdos, that's right.
I think I've only seen them in one room so far in this dungeon, maybe two.
Yeah, they're certainly not prevalent.
Well, as soon as you say that, there's a pile of them.
Followed by a pile of pancakes. Who's hungry?
Well, it is lunchtime now that you mention it. Bobino still digging 8. He hasn't found the map yet, so it's going to be significantly harder, as we know that shape of 8, it's absolutely massive. Yeah, do see a shoot room. Nothing useful in it, though. Bobino picking up that Triforce from 8. So, is he going to make the play? At this point, he'd have to make 2 plays. The second item in third item in 1, and the silvers being in 9, but looks like he's not making any of them.
Looking at Kingdahl's map, I'm going to take a wild guess that the princess lies in the southwest.
Yeah, unfortunately, seems to be blocked from every angle of attack. Hopefully it's not a magic staircase to Zelda, because again, there was that one potential staircase room with the blue land molas that killed him. If that, in theory, is a magic staircase that is the only way to Zelda, that could be all Bobino needs to get back into this. Especially being completely out of bombs. As I said before, the fact that Bobino has that bomb upgrade and has been doing a good job of keeping all his keeping a good amount of bombs. Meanwhile, Kingdahl, he has to leave and come back later. He's going to a shop. This is one of those B shops. Fortunately, it's only a quick trip away, but it will cost him another 38 rupees. And depending on how much longer this 9 takes him, he is going to slowly be running out of money.
I think with over 100 rupees, it should be enough, unless they're really, really trigger happy.
True, but he might have to spend another almost 40 on bombs. It really depends on how this goes. Yeah, with that magic sword, he is able to really clear out a lot of these rooms without using silver arrows, although the range is still really nice to have sometimes. I expect the nerves to be getting to Kingdahl at this point, and also Bobino, because we're almost an hour 20 minutes in. Bobino is
plugging along though.
Finding a staircase, finding that red ring. Definitely not going to pass that up, but it's not the bow or silvers he's looking for. And actually, August, I'm going to take a guess and say that Zelda is in the top right corner. That'd be especially cruel.
Yeah, Kingdahl is just about full cleared this. Just a handful of rooms left. unfortunately, still no map, so we don't know which rooms of those are actual rooms and which ones are halls.
I expect he'll explore this bottom half of the room and then be on elsewhere.
And actually, at this point, it might be a magical staircase. I sure hope Kingdahl has been keeping track of those. Because he has the entire interior cleared out. There's just a handful of rooms on the exterior, one or two of them in the center. So if he's past that shutter door, he missed it. Oh, there it is.
Speaking of shutter doors, there's the door, there's Zelda, and with that, Kingdahl finishes with an official SRL race time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 17 seconds. He is our winner. Now, this is a best of 3, so that doesn't mean that Bobino is immediately out of the tournament. So Kingdahl will have to win one more to take it. I don't believe they have scheduled their second race yet, so we'll see when that is. But for now, Kingdahl has a 1-game lead, and we'll see if we can get him in for an interview at some point.
Yeah, and that will certainly confirm us whether we're sticking around for a second race right away. Now, we know what AlmightyBobino needs to do. Unfortunately, he does not. Does need to bomb left here if he wants to continue exploring level 8. Fortunately, nothing else in here for him other than that blue boomerang. And look at that Kingdahl with just 4 deaths that seed. Very good showing.
As we see if Kingdahl is available for an interview, do want to just shout out the rest of the Zelda 1 rando races. We got a bunch going on today. Actually, we even have one that started on Speed Gaming 2 about 25 minutes ago, and we got some more later, especially tonight. So if you are interested in Zelda 1 Rando and want to see more, feel free to give the Speed Gaming series of channels a follow.
Yep, as Kevin just mentioned, we have Buzz Thunder versus Carrot Carm over on Speed Gaming 2. Of course, you should definitely stick around to see the end of this race. But then plenty of 3 more matches later on today at 2 o'clock. There's Sausage Link versus Janthe. That will be a double feature being restreamed both on Speed Gaming 2 and Speed Gaming Francais. I do believe Janthe is Parlez-vous Francais. And then later tonight, we have OPT Lawyer versus Cyberchow at 7:30. That channel is yet to be scheduled. And then finally, Dark Falls versus Green Mario. And I believe both of those latter 2 are either 1-1 or 1-0. So those matches will be decided here later tonight.
And with that, we do have a dot forfeit from AlmightyBobino, and we are, looks like we are going to get both Kingdahl and Bobino in for an interview.
Well, that's definitely unfortunate, but at this point, need to dig both the bow and the silvers out of somewhere. Not a bad call. I don't blame Bobino at all. It's been a long race and not the nicest one.
So as we get set up, just want to shout out everyone who helped with getting this race going. So Speed Gaming, of course, and thanks for doing co-coms with me, August. It was a bit of a short notice. We didn't have, as I mentioned earlier, we were a bit short-staffed today. And also want to feel free to follow Kingdahl and Bobino, who kept us on the edge of our seats for this race.
Oh yeah, no, my pleasure. It's always a blast calling these races. Not yet ready to race them myself, but someday. And yeah, anyone out there who wants to get involved behind the scenes, join the Discord, ping an admin, and see how you can get involved. You can click buttons behind the scenes tracking, posting those pictures and telling everybody what items are in which dungeons. Join us in the commentary booth, or the restreaming team. Always looking for more restreamers. And with that, we have our racers. Or, no, we don't. Looks like Kevin is down there checking some audio. So, just you and me, chat. Be sure to check out all the fun stuff that we've got going on.
Okay, and it looks like we do have Kingdahl in for an interview. How are you doing, King?
Yeah, pretty well. That seat ended.
Yeah, it was definitely on the long end, being well over an hour.
Yeah, I only found hearts. So that's
yeah,
what it takes.
lots of health so far. We've it was one of the healthiest seeds I've seen in a long time, especially with that 13 heart magic sword. Talk us through your thoughts on that. You tried at 11, you tried at 12. So coming into 13 hearts, and so what are your thoughts on just being so committed to this magic sword pick?
Well, I was I didn't have any ring at the time, and I don't know. I had been there twice. I mean, you got to get it.
Yeah, fair enough. Sometimes some runners opt to get a potion instead of a heart container at the Take Any Caves. So, but you chose all the hearts, and it worked out well for you. Meanwhile, we also got Bobino in. How are you, Bobino?
We cannot hear you, unfortunately.
Well, while you get that fixed, so Kingdahl, you won your first match. Feeling any thoughts, things you might want to change in terms of strategy coming into your second versus Bobino?
I mean, hopefully, like when you pick up the first 7 items and they're all hearts. I mean, it can't be worse than that. I mean, you want to have some progressive items the first half hour, at least.
Yeah, I also imagine that you'd be very happy never to see another Dodongo ever again.
Yeah, and they came back all the time. Yeah, but it's also good because you get bombs. You'll never run out of bombs, really. But I mean,
hey, can you hear me?
There we go.
Can.
My microphones are all messed up lately. Sorry about that.
All good.
So, how are you doing, Bobino?
Not too bad. I wasn't getting really frustrated because I kept feeling like I was going in the right direction, but then stuff just kept not coming up.
Yeah, this was a bit of a tricky seed. Got a few questions I want to ask you both. I'll start with Kingdahl. So, going into 8, going into 9, no silver arrows in tow. As we know, you never found them, but silver arrows were in 9, Bobino. So I remembered actually that you never picked up the red candle from 6. So at any point were you ever tempted to dig that second item from 6, or were you just committed full on to level 9?
At that point, it's like 66% in 9, and you pick up so much knowledge in 9 that I think it's always the right play. If it's like 2 chances out of 3.
Fair enough. Next question for you, Bobino. That bow. Any idea where it is?
So if it wasn't that last item I was searching for in 8, I was going to head back to 1 because I think I'm missing 1 item there. The only other possibility is I mismarked 4 because I think I'm missing an item from there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we were kind of questioning whether you were maybe confused about first quest versus second, because you did leave that item in 1, and it looked like you were looking for an extra item in 4. It was the wand and the raft in 4. So as soon as you picked up that wand, we were like, why is he back in here? And why is he not back in level 1 yet? So it's good to know that you weren't confused on the quests.
Yeah, I know I left 1 item in there, but I was an 8 anyway, so if it didn't turn up there, I was going to head to 1 because I figured my money was on. I mismarked 4 over the one item I didn't pick up in 1.
Yeah,
Yikes.
we were wondering, since you spent a good probably 10 minutes or so digging out that second item in 6, only for it to be the red candle, any just thoughts on or reasoning as to why you chose to dig the second item from 6 as opposed to the third item in 1?
During my qualifier races, almost every time I left like one item in a dungeon that wasn't either like ladder or key blocked, it ended up being important. So I figured I'm in 6. I haven't hit an actual like physical block yet. I'll keep going and grabbing it. And then of course, right after I had bought blue candle, red candle was the drop. So
That's unfortunate, but it's the way the cookie crumbles. It's
Yeah, the game
it can
knows.
be difficult. It can be difficult to just weigh the pros and cons of time commitment versus size of the dungeon.
yeah,
So,
I had a good time though. It definitely wasn't frustrating while I was playing it because everywhere I went, there was still another place I could go. Now, if I had finished 8 and then went to 1 and there was nothing in 1, I would have started getting frustrated.
Very understandable.
so Kingdahl, with just how linear the end game of the seed was, with you checked pretty much every item, then the flute had to be in 7, the raft had to be in 4, and turns out the silvers were in 9. Were you ever getting worried that just maybe you were behind at that point, or especially with how long this goes?
I mean, you're always kind of worried when all you hit is hearts, and you don't know if the other guy's hitting every good thing. But the seed was so complicated that I thought I had a better chance than if it was a jet.
Well, you definitely did a good job just fighting with the seed and coming out victorious. I was really impressed with some of your execution in some parts, especially that double block clip in one of those reverse C rooms to get to the staircase faster. So you really nailed that. It wasn't the easiest seed with those high HP enemies and all that. So I think both of you played pretty respectably.
And what about that 9 though?
Yeah, that 9 was you didn't see it, Bobino, but that 9 was really large, bomb holes everywhere, and really a pain to navigate.
I mean, you'd think when you find Ganon like 2 rooms in, and then Silver is like 5 rooms in, you think it's going to be a fast 9. But then I started thinking, what? And then the last, the bottom south there, oh, what a mess.
Yeah,
I think
Zelda took you quite a while.
I guess that's 1-9. I'll be okay to not make it to.
Yeah. So, any closing thoughts, Bobino, as you head on to your guys' second game?
Not currently. I had fun, and I facing someone like Kingdahl. As soon as the timer hit like 55 hour, I kept looking for the dot done. So I pretty much feel like I'm racing from behind all the time. So it kind of makes it so I try to take a few more chances, go a little faster, and worked out the one time I skipped an item. This time it ended up being bow, so that didn't help too much. But yeah, had fun. Look forward to the next one. And thanks so much for the race, Kingdahl. And thank you guys for the commentary. I appreciate you guys being here and for our tracker.
Yeah, and thanks all to for you guys for putting on the show. With that, we're gonna wrap it up here. Feel free to again follow the runners, follow us commentators, and follow Speed Gaming's series of channels. Because again, without them, we wouldn't really have a show to put on.
Yep. I am pretty sure we will be kicking off the host over to the race that's going on right now, Buzz Thunder versus Karakarm. But if you don't want to wait for that, head over to Speed Gaming 2 right now. And then at 2 o'clock, don't forget Speed Gaming 2 or Speed Gaming Francais, another race. Plenty more to come.
I've been Kevin856, and I'll catch you next time.